Hey guys, I'm back, and today I'm going to talk about what it's like to run our Nakamura overnight and some of the challenges we're facing. So stay tuned. Thanks. You can see I'm not in my normal work trousers at the moment because my work trousers are up in the washing machine. But overnight, get to the point, overnight we're running these little fun wheels which are absolutely beautiful. They come out amazing. There's only a few of them that have come with a really weird, it's like the part moved as it was being engraved or something, I'm not really sure. So what's meant to happen is that all the parts land in here. And that's just not the case. So if I open this up right now, I've just left it running this morning. So I come out early this morning and then come pull bits and pieces out. There's like maybe, what's there? Like it's quite hard to get in. I've got 1, 2. Two in the parts catcher. See if I can show you. So this is the parts catcher, and as you can kind of see, so you got that we've put this little clip on so we can just make it easier to lift the flap up. But it's really quite hard to get in there, and you get a bit of swarf in there as well, which is a bit frustrating. So let's see what the state is inside the machine itself. There we go. Right. And your parts all fall down there. Now you notice I've not got the Swarf conveyor on. That's because, well, I don't want to have the Swarf conveyor bring all the parts out. So if you come out here, we've created our own little bagging system, and I don't really want to lose parts in that. So yeah, we need to do something better. And Phil suggested I make a conveyor. I mean, I've been talking to, let's bring this back round. So there we go. Right, I've been talking to Hydrofeed, MTS, asking about conveyors, etc., and seeing what there was out there. But I'd really like a Rota rack, but we're talking £9,500 plus VAT, or just a straight conveyor. It was like just shy of 4,000. It's now gone to 5,500 from MTS. Can you believe a huge price increase in like 6 months or so, which is kind of crazy. So Phil suggested that, you know, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to do something ourselves. But the problem is I don't have time, so I don't really know what to do. I've approached John from God, what's his name? Fresh Fabrications. Fresh Fabrications, and asked whether or not he can make something. But we'll see. We're going to try to see what we can do, you know, budget-wise, etc. So, yeah, it's a challenge. Anyway, so this problem that we have is quite continuous. It's something that we always have. And so the other problem we have is that parts occasionally get damaged from being dropped. I don't know if there is anything much here that's been damaged. Sometimes we find it on these rods. If I show you this rod, there's like this scrape here, and that will be from the conveyor. So we need to come up with a better parts catching solution, really. I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you do to make sure that your parts are actually caught? But yeah, it's not great down there, is it? And the worst thing is, you know, you're going to cut your hands. You're going to struggle with all these bits and pieces. So I'd love to know your suggestions. Let me know in the comments. So, you know, this is now what I've got to do. I've got to basically get my bags. Let's go put this back properly. We do it all in rubble sacks. But I get my bags out and have to bag everything. Oh, it's hot in here as well. Wow, it's really, really warm. I think John Grimsmo with his Nakamura lathe, he basically, you know, I think he said the coolant reservoir wasn't that big, and so they were finding the coolant was getting too hot. And I feel like I've got the same problem. There's a lot of parts in here. I'm just trying to make sure I shake them off. I feel like we have the same problem because I can feel the warmth in here. It's crazy. It's literally, it feels like it's about 38 degrees with, you know, like high humidity. You see, this is like a really horrible job. And I just, you know, trying to get all this aluminium swarf, it's not fun. Not fun. I'm not really sure what part of the process creates this really long, stringy aluminium chip. No idea. We were talking the other day and saying that maybe it'd be a good idea to sit and put more programs on option stop and observe the chip that comes off after each cycle to identify, oh, you know, that cycle needs improving and that cycle needs improving and so on and so forth. But yeah, wow, it is really, really packed in here. There's not, you know, like considering we're machining these tiny fumbles, but we machined a lot of them. I've run six metre long bars, I think. So there's a few. So I didn't run it completely overnight. Like I could literally obviously feed it as many bars as I could fit into the HydroFeed bar feeder. But the risk is if I break a tool, and this is the other problem we've got with overnight running, if I break a tool, you know, I'm going to have really crap parts. So what I'd like to do is get the Renishaw probing system. I think it's the RP40 probing system, which I've got a quote for, which I think is just shy of 10,000. So it can come in, you know, especially overnight, do these runs and have it automatically come and update offsets and make sure that we haven't broke a tool and that kind of thing. Which would hopefully mean that we would, you know, run more successful parts. At the moment, it's a bit like, it's so experimental for us, at least. There you go, my first part out of the Swarf. You know, you just don't want to risk. You don't want to risk it. I don't want to waste the bar. I know that sounds silly actually, because the bars are quite cheap. So really, you know, risk versus reward. It's probably not that bad, but at the same time, I'm like, well, you know, if I broke the OD turn tool, and then I'm bringing in my you know, 800 pound cut knurling tool straight after that, I don't really want to damage that. So yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, I'm not even scratching the surface here. It is just absolutely mad how many chips and stuff are in. Let me just show you again. Right. That's what we're dealing with. All of this. And the occasional part in between. So you can see how hard that is to sort through. So I've basically concluded that we really need something like a Rota rack, or, you know, like some other conveyor. There's been some really great ideas put out there. I was going on CAD and basically trying to design my own type of Rota rack, and I've gone to someone that I've known for a while about fabrication, but I need to do a bit more of the CAD design because otherwise it's going to cost loads of money to just have the design done, just to determine the cost really. But essentially I was thinking about having a conveyor where the idea was suggested where it basically comes out and then comes into a degreasing solution before going into the Rota rack, which I think was absolutely a fantastic idea, because we just really want to get those parts out as clean as we possibly can. And that's a real struggle. It's not only getting them out of the machine, it's getting them out clean, and it will just make all the difference. So I've got somewhere there I've got to spend the money. I'm obviously trying to do it as reasonably priced as I can because money is inevitably tight. We'll see what happens. We just have to see. But that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it. If you've got any comments, any ideas for me, drop them in the comments below, and we'll speak to you later. Thanks, guys.